Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
And we're going to begin Local 4 News at 5 with worries about the weather. The sun is shining right now. Looks fine. The trouble's expected to come tomorrow morning. In fact, there could be a coating of ice on the roads just in time for the morning drive and the school drop-off.
We want to get right over to Paul Gross for an update on the timing. And Paul, we've got a winter weather advisory set to go into effect too.
Yep, and that's in effect from top to bottom for the entire Channel 4 viewing area here. Local 4 viewers, if you're watching us here in Southeast Michigan, you are covered by this winter weather advisory. Now, it goes into effect 10 p.m. to the south, midnight in the center part of the area, and 2 a.m. to the north, but that's reflective of the precip moving in from southwest to northeast. So you'll just get it last in the thumb, but you're also going to keep it longest tomorrow. All right, right now, though, as Devin just said, look at that beautiful sunshine out there. It's been a great day. Temps in most areas are in the upper 30s to near 40 degrees. The wind is not too bad, and so it's just tonight that things start going downhill. Now, there's nothing showing up right now on Storm Tracker 4. So, again, we are fine right now. We're fine into the early evening hours. You got to schlep the kids around somewhere. You have some errands to do. You're fine. But this evening, temperatures are going to start falling pretty quickly, and we're going to be below freezing by midnight. Again, with clouds increasing, the freezing rain, snow, sleet, all that doesn't start until, again, late evening into the overnight hours. So what you need to know, it begins 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., heaviest from 2 to 7 a.m., and then tomorrow, rising above freezing is the important thing that will happen from south to north across the area. We're going to break this all down for you with our computer model coming up in just a few minutes. But don't forget, Local Forecasters app has real-time radar, and we color-code it, just like what we show you on TV, so you can see where it's rain, where it's ice, and where it's snow. Just go to the App Store, search under WDIV, and the nation's best weather app is free.
All right, Paul, our other top story at 5. Shotguns, pistols, and a host of explosives presented as evidence today in the trial of the men accused of plotting to kidnap Governor Whitmer.
And they all belong to accused ringleader Barrycroft. Let's get to Sean Lay. He's live tonight with a closer look at the weapons. And Sean, so prosecutors are trying to paint this as an arsenal of weapons.
It truly is an arsenal, but also defense attorneys, Kimberly, also quick to point out that it's a legal arsenal, legal weapons that were discovered here. We did check with area gun stores. Most don't carry these type of items, but you can purchase them online. Take a look.
When you sort of line them all up, they sound like someone is sort of amassing an arsenal.
Local 4 legal analyst Neil Rockheim breaking down what he calls an important step in the Whitmer kidnapping trial. Federal prosecutors showing the jury what the FBI found in the home of accused ringleader Barrycroft, a self-proclaimed anti-government domestic terrorist. Canisters of smokeless powder were found, gunpowder that reduces the amount of smoke from gunshots. Canisters of exploding targets, unrestricted explosives that blow up when shot. Their law enforcement concerns they could be used as bomb components. Croft had a shotgun like this one outfitted with custom tubes that concentrate a shotgun blast. Prosecutors suggesting a blast that would breach a door. And what's called a micro-conversion kit marketed to make a handgun into the, quote, ultimate submachine gun. A sheet of code words were found, along with Boogaloo movement symbols, the movement that supports another revolutionary war. Defense attorneys pointed out to the jury all of these items are legal to possess. Rockheim says it's a lot for the jury to consider.
It has the potential to create in the jury's mind that someone that has all of that is ready for war. The danger is that the innuendo, the speculation suggests that you were doing something wrong.
And there's a lot more that happened in court today besides what we just presented to you now. Coming up at 6 o'clock, prosecutors putting out 3 public Facebook posts that we'll share with you at 6 that truly got this FBI investigation into this kidnapping plot. It started in the first place, Kimberly.
Sean, this has been going a couple of weeks now. The prosecution, they're getting ready to wrap up the case, right?
Right, today's day 12. They'll start tomorrow, day 13. The judge says he does expect federal prosecutors to wrap its case tomorrow. And then you've got 4 defendants now with 4 different lawyers who will have the opportunity to present their side. So that could take some time, but will certainly be interesting to see how they defend now going forward.
Indeed. Okay, Sean, thank you. Well, also here at 5, a Southfield family says they are stunned after a 23-year-old has been charged with murdering his grandmother.
This Juan Mack faces open murder and felony weapons charges in the death of 73-year-old Margaret Mack. Priya Man following this story. Priya, the suspect's father is in the hospital right now, right?
Yeah, that's right, Devin. Kim, he's been hospitalized with a severe case of pneumonia. In fact, his mom was with him in the hospital for a few days last week. When she didn't call him on Friday or over the weekend, he asked family members to check on her, and they had to give him the heartbreaking news.
You have to tell someone that your mother is gone and that your own son did it, and he doesn't understand.
73-year-old Margaret Mack was the beloved matriarch of her large family.
She just didn't deserve this, and I don't understand it.
Her eldest son had to step away. The grief at losing his mom, allegedly at the hands of his own nephew, was too much to bear.
She never had disagreements and arguments with him or any of her grandchildren.
Last Thursday, police say Desjuan Mack called 911 saying an elderly woman was having trouble breathing. When officers got to Legacy Place Apartments in Southfield, they discovered the victim had been shot multiple times in her room. Police say Mack gave conflicting information, at first saying he was a family friend. The 23-year-old is now charged with shooting his grandmother to death.
It really makes no sense why a 23-year-old would harm not only an elderly but their own grandparent, who this family described as a loving grandmother who's done pretty much everything a great grandmother could do for them.
Southfield Police Chief Alvin Barron says detectives found the weapon they believe was used in the murder hidden under a couch cushion. The family says they never saw this coming.
I'm asking that if anyone, knows the family and definitely knows her sons, to just stand around them during this time, and they need the support.
Yeah, they are just absolutely heartbroken. And the big question is why? Why would you kill someone who had spent your entire life trying to help you any way they could? Police say that he is not cooperating, not answering any questions. They don't have a motive. He will be back in court next month. Reporting live, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Now, Priya, that gun didn't belong to him.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, police in their investigation discovered that gun had been reported stolen in Farmington Hills in 2018. Again, they believe that was the weapon used in this senseless murder. Yeah. Send it back to you.
All right, Priya. Well, a big step today in the effort to keep the most vulnerable protected from COVID-19.
The FDA authorized another COVID-19 booster shot for people aged 50 and older. The agency's decision will allow a fourth dose of Pfizer or Moderna vaccines to people at least 4 months after their previous booster. Until now, the FDA had cleared fourth doses only for people 12 and over who have severely weakened immune systems. The FDA ruled without input from its independent advisors. So we want to bring in Dr. Frank McGeorge right now. And Frank, although the second booster has been authorized, does that mean it's also being recommended to the people that it's been authorized for?
Important distinction, Kim. It's actually the CDC that would issue those recommendations, and we do expect them soon. But regardless of what they recommend, based on the available data that I've seen, the only groups who are most likely to benefit from a second booster so soon after the first are really the immunocompromised and the elderly, especially if they have any underlying health problems that further increase the risk of severe disease.
So are you saying even if you're authorized to get another booster, you might hold off?
Well, of course, I'll be interested to see what the CDC's recommendations actually are and the data they're using to support it. But my take on a second booster is that right now, it's really not a simple one-size-fits-all recommendation like the original vaccine in the first booster. People are really going to need to consider their own risks. So I think a 70-year-old overweight hypertensive diabetic is in a very different place than a healthy 51-year-old. Mm-hmm. Now that said, the larger background to consider is that a new, more virulent variant could actually show up any time. And if that happens, of course, everyone's risk calculation is going to need to change.
Yeah. All right. Dr. McGeorge, we appreciate you keeping us posted. Devin.
President Biden today talking about the next steps needed to punish Russia and help Ukraine on a call with European allies. That as Ukraine is making headway on the battlefield again, and there may also be progress in the peace talks being held in Turkey, the first time the Russian and Ukrainian delegations have met now face-to-face in several weeks. Alice Barr with the latest from Washington. Alice.
Good evening. Today's peace talks are offering the first real signs of concrete progress, though the White House is tempering optimism with the reminder that it's Russia's actions, not its words, that count. Tentative hopes for progress today out of peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. As the two sides met in Turkey, Russian officials said that to increase trust, they would drastically reduce their military presence near the capital of Kyiv, where Russian forces have already been losing ground. But as attacks continue in other areas, President Biden urging caution.
We'll see. I don't read anything into it until I see what their actions are. We'll see if they follow through on what they're suggesting.
The Defense Department saying it has seen small numbers of Russian troops moving away from Kyiv.
But we believe that this is a repositioning, not a real withdrawal.
Earlier today, the president spoke with top European allies, discussing more assistance for Ukraine and vowing to stand firm until Russian aggression ends. Ukraine's president has said he's open to declaring his country neutral, ending a bid to join the NATO alliance. But he wants a new and even stronger security framework to guarantee Western protection if Russia attacks again.
They want a security guarantee like NATO allies have amongst themselves, that attack on one is an attack on all. That's a very high bar.
Ukrainian officials making their boundaries clear.
We never go for any compromise concerning our independence, concerning our sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Signs of hope for a pathway to peace, with significant hurdles along the way. Another big development from today's negotiations, the two sides appear to be moving closer to an in-person meeting between the presidents of Russia and Ukraine. That's seen as critical as Russian negotiators have repeatedly made clear President Putin would have the final say. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
All right, Alice, Poland's government has decided, by the way, to block imports of coal from Russia, part of this overarching strategy to reduce energy dependence that gained new urgency after Moscow's invasion of Ukraine.